Richard Ashcroft. Check the meaning. Well, Carl, you're chuffed, aren't you? What's happened? What's just happened? Tell the listeners what's happened.
This has sparked you up a bit.
Steve's just called up. He's putting an offer for the futon and the table.
Yeah.
I think he definitely wanted it, but I said, look, you know, think about it over the weekend.
Yeah.
Give
You're not a hustler.
No, well, I'm not going to rush him into it, because once he's got it, he can't bring it back. I'm not messing about.
No.
So the bloke said, what sort of wood is it? Carl said, sort of like a light brown colour. He went, what, beach coloured? Carl went, depends what beach you're on. Which was nice.
You do understand there's a wood that's called beach.
Well, he's happy, he likes the sound of it, nice plum cover. He's gonna be,
Yeah. It's Carl going, that'll go with Magnolia, he's just going, I'll tell you what, looked nice in his spare bedroom. It was like an episode of Changing Rooms. It was like listening to an episode of Carl.
He did the deal in under 3 minutes, wasn't it?
It was pretty good, didn't he?
He phoned it about halfway through in that song, so you worked pretty quick, Carl, I gotta say. It's your Manx scally way.
I'm sure we're not allowed to do this, though.
No, I think it's highly criminal.
Yeah.
Have you got anything that you get?
Well, I'll tell you, I am moving shortly, so I mean, I might come in next week. I could have a couple of.
I threw away a desk the other day.
I gotta get rid of a bed, a chair, because you know I'm pretty tall. This is so pathetic. When I moved up to London, my dad said, well, you want to be careful, because I mean the seating in a lot of these London pads, it's bad seating, very low backs, fashionable, isn't it? Fashionable chairs and stuff. You're a big guy, 6'7", you need like a decent chair. We went to a shop, it was like a second-hand furniture shop, right? I bought this chair, very high backed.
Why did you buy that? For a solo, I love that.
It's just a chair, so I could sit in my room and watch TV.
But was it a soft chair, or was it a wooden chair?
It was kind of like a sort of, well, let me explain, because it's kind of like an armchair, but it's kind of got wooden arms. So I get this chair, I bring it up to London, I think, this is a great chair, this is a wonderful chair. I'm gonna be watching TV, everyone else is going in agony. You know, I've got this lovely chair, right? And I brought it up and someone went, they looked at it, they went, isn't that an orthopaedic chair? And I looked at it again, right, and I realised it's kind of white cleanable. It's made of some kind of fabric that allows you to just mop it down with a wet cloth.
Why?
Because I think it came from an old people's home. You know when you see, like, old people in some kind of social room in an old people's home, just sat watching a little crappy old TV, and you can wipe everything clean. It's one of those chairs.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So if anyone's, maybe they've got an elderly relative.
Didn't you keep slipping off?
And it's also the most uncomfortable chair I've ever, because unless you've got chronic back pain, it's just the most uncomfortable chair. It makes you sit bolt upright, if not slightly forward.
You've done a good sell on it. I think, either the phones are going mental. How much do you want for that, Steve?
If you've had a recent accident, or you've got a disabled, or someone in the house who's just, elderly, then you might want to get in touch. I'm happy to, you can take that off, man, for 25 quid.
This is so wrong.
25 quid, I'll take that. Whether you're setting up an old people's home, you know, it's a little pet project.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of grant, and we can help.
Exactly.
We can I mean, because though Steve's such a high flyer, I mean, if it really is a good cause, they just give it to you.
Well, let's not rush into anything, Rick. I like to assess each case, you know, individually. But certainly, if you are a charity, then I might go for 20 quid. You take off Mans for 20 quid. But otherwise, 25. And I tell you, it's in good condition, because I haven't really sat on it.
5 quid off if you really are.
You know, and there were some stains. I've wiped them clean.
Oh dear. Well, that's fantastic. So
I'll tell you what we should resuscitate next week. Swap Shop. The multicoloured swap shop.
Honestly,
there's a great format.
But there's a couple of things I've always wanted to get back at. Swap Shop is one of them, and the other one is Superstars.
I don't remember Superstars.
Superstars was great, because it was like the people of their time. So you'd have like people like nowadays, you'd have Beckham and what's his name? Who's a tennis player?
Rosetsky.
Yeah, Rosetsky, and they have to compete, so all these people have to compete at each other's sports, and they have to choose 7 out of 10 sports. And there's a leaderboard, and there's a big final. Oh, Keegan came off his bike.
It's not like
always used to win it. No, it's real sports. It's proper sports. It's 100 metres, tennis, weightlifting, all the real sports. You can't do your own sport.
Well, I know you're a pretty big guy now in British TV. You're a bit of a big shot. What do you reckon? Pull some strings?
Let's get it back on there. Superstars.
Superstars sounds fantastic.
Me, Johnny Vegas, Peter Kay. For the bigger fella, I think maybe. The comedy superstars. What we got next? We've got a bit of Springsteen, haven't we?
Let's play Springsteen. This is a track from his current album, The Rising. A lot of people think Bruce is a bit MOR, a bit middle of the road or whatever, but, you know, I just think, piss off.
Yeah.
I just think, screw you.
I just think, get lost, you.
Yeah.
Imagine this, you're open top caddy.
Yeah,
you're just going around Route 66. You're going home maybe for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
To see your folks. Just turn up the radio if you are.
Play the tune.
Probably
Carl.
not, though.
That just reminded me when I brought a... So stop it for a second. Just realised when I brought a woman back
shambles.
and she saw the orthopaedic chair. You bring a woman back to your pad. Oh, it's embarrassing.
And the harness.
Yeah.
And,
the truss.
Yeah, and, yeah. Can you give me those 2 splints? I'm sorry? Those 2 splints there. Well, I've got to go. Have you?
Is this a potty under the bed? The Rising, title track from Bruce Springsteen's current album.
Great
The Rising.
track.
Yeah, it's good.
Great. It's that feeling of it's melancholy and uplifting. We've had quite an interactive show so far because we've got a call that Superstars is coming back. It's due to come back in the BBC schedules, which is great. It's apparently with Steve Redgrave is one of them. I just don't think will professional footballers be allowed to take part these days though. When they're on 50 grand a week, you can't really have them falling off bikes and their ankles, can you?
In McCaskill last night.
Yeah, I'm slippery thick. Yeah.
Ian McCaskill.
Oh, he fell off his leg about 3 times, didn't he? Oh, did you see Celebrity Thick?
No, I haven't seen it.
There was a great moment where they had to go into a thing called a bod pod, and you sit in it, and it's quite space age, and it analyses you, and it tells you percentage body fat. Now, I think, men are meant to be about sort of, 15 to 25% body fat, women are meant to be like about 20 to 30 body fat. And they all went in there, and, it went in there and it said, in McCaskill, and it came up, 34% body fat or whatever, slightly overweight, I'm gonna come to the 38% overweight, then it went, the other one, 45% body fat, obese, then it went, Jono,
Did it say, I don't want to tell you?
Yeah, and then it went, 50% body fat, very obese. Then Rick Waller was sat in there, and it came up 60% body fat. And I wanted it to come up slug.
Oh, God.
But it came up more with it 60% fat.
So 60% of him is fat?
Yeah. 60% of his entire makeup.
That's extraordinary.
It is,
well, you know my feelings about Waller.
Well, let's go on to it.
Well, that's the reason I don't watch the show, actually.
I do feel a bit sorry for him, and he is, I think he is trying, although the fella there, thinks he's not trying. So I don't know who to believe, Steve.
Sure. Yeah,
I don't know who to believe Waller, and he does get pains in that, and he is a bit...
The problem is, right, he does like his food.
Yeah, we all like our food.
But if he didn't do the exercise, he wouldn't be as hungry. And he might not get fat.
This is a whole new nutritional outlook.
Absolutely.
So you're saying, don't exercise and carry on eating, and that's interesting. Let me write that one down. I will send that to the British
Nutritional Organisation.
Yeah, no, that's good, Karl Pilkington. Okay, well, no, that's a good...
I'm no doctor or anything.
Whoa,
Yo, come off it. Stop being so bloody modest.
Please.
You are a doctor. You're not a doctor, seriously. You didn't qualify. That's interesting.
You dropped out early, or?
That's mad. That is mad.
I mean, you're as good as doctor, you just didn't get the paperwork or whatever. You just didn't turn up for the exam.
He was just saying that Bruce Springsteen, depressed him a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it reminds him of when he worked in the supermarket. And, it's funny how a song can do that, take you right back there. He went, yeah, nothing else can do that. I said, well, actually, smell is the most evocative sense, because smell is linked to memory in the brain. And he went, yeah, they probably said that before music, though. And now all science are going, we better revisit this, because there's music now.
Yeah.
We've had this theory knocking around for, 10,000...
I went to see Bruce, you'll be pleased to know. I just want the fans of the show to know that I did make it to Bruce Springsteen's concert last week. And, he started with that song we just played, and it was dynamite. I mean, he never let up. Almost 3 hours, he rocked the joint. He's 53, he was sliding across, it was pure rock and roll. Pumping our fist, sliding across the floor on his knees, he was jumping on the piano. It was real Jerry Lee Lewis rock and roll. And, it was dynamite. And, I just was looking around though, and when I am the trendiest person at a gig...
Oh dear.
Then I'm in trouble, do you know what I mean? And there was some of the people there, I imagined, on Amazon.com, it says like, people who bought X also bought Y.
Yeah.
And I think people who bought tickets for Bruce probably bought tickets for Martin Knopfler.
Yeah,
Dave Gilmour.
Yeah,
Pink Floyd, without Pink Floyd.
But then
Stevie Nicks.
But there's also, then there's also, all the monster rock. They probably buy Stones when they visit,
Yeah.
And probably Tina
It's the
Turner.
blue wash jeans.
Yeah.
You know, it's the small waistcoats.
Yeah.
Over a denim shirt.
Plaid shirt, maybe sort of like Timberlands. Nothing wrong with Timberlands. I'm not. That's libelous.
Sure.
No.
Sure.
See, I've done it again.
But
Just
it was hell getting out. I couldn't find. I mean, I went to the tube and it was a nightmare because some of the tubes weren't running. I just said to my friend, "I'll sod this," you know. Stormed off, trying to find a cab. Couldn't find a cab. Wandering around Wembley, just livid. I mean, fuming because I couldn't find a cab. I was screaming because I was going. I've got money. I'm on the radio. I've had a TV show. I've got the cash. I'm willing to spend it. There's no one who can help me get home. And I was
I've seen him shout this in Brewer Street.
Yeah.
Just to stand in the middle. Go on.
And I was thinking to myself, what would you have done there? Because in the end, I just sat in a little cafe, had something to eat. But you, I mean, if you couldn't get a cab, what would you have done? Just because there's a couple of, there's a couple of hotels near Wembley. I was thinking you'd have just checked in.
Yeah, and just
and stayed till the morning.
Yeah, when there's a cab, let me know.
But I was thinking, because you were thinking of going, would you have booked a cab beforehand?
Yeah.
Would you have thought to do that?
Yeah, I'd have got a cab there and I'd have booked a cab.
Wouldn't the helicopters just took you back home?
Yeah.
Oh, he's having a dig, isn't he?
He's having a laugh, isn't he?
Blimey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Play the ads.
We've got a little email straight away, Carl, from Nikki in Beverly Hills, California. She says, "Carl, you rock. I hate it when Ricky and Steve ridicule you. I checked out your picture. Although your head is not normal, that's no reason to ridicule you. You look gimp, but I never judge a book by the cover."
Cheers.
Is that what you've got to say?
Well, it's only because I've got no hair, though, isn't it? That's why it gives that effect.
No, it's perfectly round your head. It's perfectly spherical head. Your face is slightly too big for it. It almost goes over the sides. Perfectly round head. Pug little nose. Funny gimp eyes with no expression. Hangdog look. Like a little mouth, like a little lamprey. Not formed, not human formed. The way your expression is like you've had a lobotomy. Your head goes weird at the back. It's got a little nod in it, like it's really strange, your face, and you're stupid.
We've had a lot of emails saying that. I mean, I think he's just paraphrasing, but... talking of emails, you know, a couple of... I can't remember which show it was, but you mentioned, Carl, that you'd only recently seen a Chinese homeless person.
Oh, yeah.
And it really surprised you because you'd never seen a Chinese homeless person.
And I actually went along with that. I've still never seen a Chinese homeless person.
Well, now, I can just tell you now that there's a few responses from Los Angeles, people saying there are quite a lot of Chinese homeless people over there because apparently there's a huge homeless community in Los Angeles. So definitely if you want to see them, Carl, that's the place to go. But we've had one from Vancouver, Canada, from a girl called Amy, and Amy herself is Chinese, and she says that she realised herself that she'd never really seen a Chinese homeless person. And although she says that apparently Vancouver has the first or second largest Chinese population in Canada, she'd never seen them, and she actually went for a walk around the Chinatown in her area looking for them, and she could not find any on that particular day. So again, Canada obviously not a place to go for a Chinese homeless.
It was just a point, though. I don't want people sort of...
Well, hold on, though. Wait, I'll stop you there. Hello, Ricky, Steve and Carl. I live in New York City and have seen a Chinese homeless person. Not only is he Chinese, but he is also a midget. He's been living on the streets for the last 30 years. He used to dress in rags, but thanks to a coat drive, he's now wearing a fancy Adidas jacket, right? Now he encloses a picture. He says he gave him $10 to take the picture, and I've seen it, and he's a little Chinese midget fella.
I'm just getting a bit worried that people are going out there sort of looking for these. Because they, you know,
that's what you requested.
No, but all I was saying is, I saw one. I didn't start saying, "Excuse me, can you just give us a smile? I'm taking your picture." Do you know
we've
what I
had
mean?
loads of pictures of people.
I know, and it worries me a little bit. And I mean, it's not too bad about the one who took one of the little midget one, because, you know, if he kicked off, it'd be quite easy to sort of hold him back. But I'm talking about fully grown.
So is that your warning to people? Don't be taking pictures of fully grown Chinese homeless?
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, you know, don't be messing about going up to strangers and that and annoying them and stuff, right? Maybe
I think that's a good rule of thumb. Don't annoy them. But I mean, that is a hell of a sighting, isn't it? We asked for a Chinese homeless, and they gave us a Chinese midget homeless.
Many of the listeners are aware, Carl, that you're sort of fascinated by smaller people.
Well, he's fascinated by difference, I think.
Yes.
I don't think he's having a go at people. You're not having when you sort of stare at someone because they don't look like you, and let's face it, most people don't look like you. You're not having a go, are you?
Well, like I say, first time I saw Steve, I was never having a go. It was just, oh, that's different. But you know, like you know, Steve, I was never having a go. It's just that thing of, oh, right, interesting.
What do you mean?
No, just I've said before about I've got used to it, and
Steve
it's the
got
same.
used to it. What do you? What
I
you
don't know. Well, you know my feeling with this. I don't really know where he's coming
but
from.
Steve knows I'm not having a go either.
Yeah.
Carl used to carry around a book that was called the top 50 freaks of all time.
Well, it's interesting you should mention that, because we actually had an email from Richie who says that he's been a fan of ours for many years, and he's listened to lots of the radio shows we've done in the past and things. And he says, of all the people you've discussed, Carl, in the past, including some of the people from your odd magazines, who would you most like to spend the day with, of all those people that you've encountered?
Favourite of all.
Well, certainly who you would want to spend time with, who you feel would be the most fascinating, the most interesting. Let's just recap on
Well,
some
there's
of
Pillow Man, the bloke with no arms, no legs that can roll a cigarette with his mouth.
Yeah.
No, not impressed with him.
That's not sufficient.
What about the three-legged juggler?
So hang on, let's just recap. This was a man with 3 legs?
3 legs, right?
Right.
And it said his job, he became a juggler.
Okay.
Not using the gift that he'd been given.
What you suggest?
Anything. Running, swimmer. Just,
Yeah.
But yeah,
What else
what are
was
the
there?
others? What are the other ones?
There was a picture of a gentleman who was fascinated by him. He used to play the piano.
Oh, he's got a tiny head, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's that. That's the one who he sort of ages fast.
Right.
So like every other week he's having a birthday and stuff. And yeah, that was weird.
He's not having a birthday every other week. His body's just aged, so as the appearance, his biology is sort of like he's 70, but he's only like 15. They don't have a birthday every week. You idiot.
But yeah, I don't know about knocking about with one at a long time though. That's
Only for a day?
I suppose it depends what I'm up to. Because if we're going out and about, the Pillow Man would just be a bit of a drag.
Whereas if you're going for a walk across, the 3-legged guy, ideal.
So yeah.
Lots and lots of people emailing just with questions for Carl. Just a couple of quick ones for you, Carl. Wendy says, if Carl had to eat the same dinner every day for the rest of his life, what would he eat?
You see, it depends, doesn't it? I mainly eat just so I keep going. I'm not that bothered about, because I don't really taste it anyway. I just shove it down.
You're like a horse?
I mean, to be honest, it annoys me the way people worry about food now and how there's so much to choose from. I think it's got out of hand. I'll watch
any form of choice really worries you, doesn't it?
No,
you don't like choice.
No, choice is good, but not too much. It's like with anything now. If you go into a toffee shop, there's like loads of different.
Where are you going to find a toffee shop?
You're in a fairy tale.
You're in a Dickens tale in the 19th century.
You're in Shrek.
And you go into a toffee shop.
What's your point? You go into a toffee shop.
What I'm saying, you go into a shop full of toffees.
You've just come from the candlestick maker.
Right? You go in there and there's just too much choice. It's like what, and I can stand there up to like 4 minutes, sort of going
up to 4 minutes.
So specific.
4 minutes.
So he's in a toffee shop in a top hat.
Well, he's only got 4 minutes. He's only got 4 minutes because you've got to get down to the pea green boat that he's sailing off in.
No,
good morrow.
Well, forget the toffees.
Could I have some of your finest Oxfordshire toffees?
So you'd prefer it was just one selection of toffee? That's all they've got?
Well, maybe 2. What I'm saying is, right, there's now too much choice. Whenever you get a menu in a restaurant, it's not like you don't just go, oh, right, what is there? Yeah, I'll have that. There's too much. It's like a book, and you look at it all. And then you've got to that point now that people are even taking a risk when they're eating.
What do you mean?
In Japan or China or something, they're eating that fish that if it's not cooked right, it can kill you. Right? Not worth the risk. And there's so many other fish.
Yeah, I agree. Why
have mackerel, have a bit of cod or whatever.
As
soon as there's a risk, take it off.
I agree. I totally agree.
Not worth it.
We've got a fish that might or might not kill you. Well, is there anything that definitely won't kill you? Yeah, but a chicken won't kill you.
I'll play safe then. I'll have that.
I love that. I love the chicken.
That's what I'm saying. But anyway, we were talking about sayings and that. Right? Stitching time saves 9. Don't. I'm never going to use that. I don't think anyway. Okay. Suzanne.
You're never going to understand it fully, are you?
Suzanne repairs me stuff anyway. It doesn't really matter. But what about the one? About the one in greenhouses and that.
People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Well, I'm intrigued to know if he's fully got to grips with this.
Okay.
Just give us your explanation again of what you'd take that to mean.
Well, just don't be chucking stuff about. Really.
So, well, if that was it, they just say that.
No, but that saying's been around a lot longer than we think. That's when people probably did live in basic glass houses and stuff.
No, whoa,
what they mean now.
Now he's ever lived in a glass house.
So cavemen went from rock to a nice crystal structure, did they? What are you talking about? When did people live in glass houses?
What they mean now, when that saying's used now, they mean sort of, plasma tellies, ornaments.
No, they don't.
They're saying don't chuck stuff about, because you'll break it.
No, it's not about damaging your own property.
They don't mean you're inside the glass house throwing rocks inside your own glass house.
It's a metaphor.
White Stripes fell in love with a girl. XFM 104.9. 1:05 of a Saturday. That's what DJs say.
Of a Saturday, yeah. Of a Saturday.
Fast approaching.
Yeah, time fast approaching 1:10. What do you mean it's fast approaching? What's it speeding up, is it? Time's speeding up as it gets towards 2:10. Shut up.
Ricky Gervais, obviously.
With him, Steve Merchant.
Yeah, and Karl
Let's
Pilkington.
not forget Carl P, the K-Man.
He's growing on people now.
Love him. People love him.
People was thinking, oh God, he's too much. Now they're going, they love him. Like, same as you. I mean, they still think you talk a little bit too much, but I mean, they love Karl. And, but, I shouldn't say that, because it'll rock your confidence.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I am a man of nerves. Sorry, I'm sidetracked because I'm looking on the internet here, on the website for XFM.
Yeah.
Because I was, partly bored, but also I was looking on the other day.
And that's nothing I said though, was it?
No.
Right.
No. And, there was some people, commenting on the show.
Yeah.
And one person on there, I'm trying to find it, I don't want to misquote them, but basically, as far as I remember, they said that, we knew even less about the music than the DJs that are on in the week.
Right. I think that is scientifically impossible.
Yeah.
So they've embarrassed themselves.
Exactly.
I think it's impossible.
You can't know less than the people that are on
I
in the
don't
week.
think so.
It's just,
I mean,
it's not going to multiply with zero. You just end up with zero. It doesn't make sense.
I checked with Steve Taylor, the man with the knowledge. He should know. But I don't think that's really annoying.
It's so annoying because I'd say this, we are passionate about the music and we do know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Just because we don't read the back of the CD box.
No,
like
and play the list we're given with the 9 CDs that are on the playlist every month.
There's a piece of paper here.
The Carl's looking at me like he's thinking, oh no, we're having a go.
You've given away the magic of radio. You get pieces of paper here, and they've got little bits of details. So, for instance, White Stripes, this is the next single off White Blood Cells, February 2002. Now, it sounds like we know about the music. We read that off a piece of paper.
Exactly. Whereas, when we say about music and we're wrong, at least it's 'cause we didn't know.
Exactly.
See? Look at the All-Stars. The old.
So, I don't want to criticise there, but if I was listening and I'd enjoyed that track and I wanted to know what it was, I wouldn't have understood what you just said.
Really?
Could you just say that again?
Low Fidelity All-Stars.
Yeah, Low Fidelity, because you went Low Fidelity.
I was doing I was doing me DJ talk,
No, it's just you didn't know your mouth wide enough.
I can't be bothered.
No, sure.
It's to tell you too much. Look at listen to him crinchling his little crinchling.
You're not crinchling.
You're not crinchling your Jaffa cakes, are you?
If it wasn't going out on air, no one knew.
I bet you're one of those people in cinemas that think you're being really quiet eating a bag of crisps, aren't you? Do you go to cinemas?
I haven't been for a bit, actually.
What do you do, Carl?
Carl!
What's an entertaining evening for you?
Yeah.
What would you do to occupy your time? Your hobbies, for instance.
Might get a video out from prime time.
Right. What would you enjoy that, or would it just be a chore for you?
No, I think things like that.
You really hate doing that.
That's when you really switch off and you forget all your problems and stuff.
What? You haven't got any problems?
You haven't got any problems, Carl?
You don't know that. I put on a face when I'm with you.
You wear a mask. Are you crying inside?
This is you being the happiest you can be. You're like a clown, aren't you? Oh,
You think I'm like a hard, miserable man? Because there was somebody else.
I don't think you're hard.
The other day, and I said to him, I can't watch The Elephant Man because it upsets me.
God, you're the best! You don't know you're doing it, you're the best.
Can you watch it?
Well,
always, when it gets to that bit where they're carrying him through the village and messing about with his head.
Well, do you know, this is true, my dad watched that once, and we were watching it, my mum and my sister and that were all quite moved by it, almost ridiculous tears, thinking it was a wonderful example of man's inhumanity to man and all that thing. Yeah. And my dad just went, wouldn't he make an amazing novelty rucksack? And it cheapened the film for me, and I've never had this sort of...
Steve was thinking, he's not that ugly.
Ooh. Blimey, here we go, we were laughing at Carl! Can we focus on one person at a time, Rick, please? Let's destroy him first.
Oh, God. Tell them what you said to me when that record was playing. about the Jaffa Cakes. He bought some Jaffa Cakes, which was lovely. He went across the road and he handed out the Jaffa Cakes. And then I went, oh, thanks very much. And then what did you say?
I just remember learning at school, I'm not like making fun of the illness, because it's not funny, but they cure cancer.
Jaffa Cakes cure cancer?
Not like fully.
Right. They just go some way to helping.
Yeah. Do you know, it'll sort of help. If you've got it, you can't say, right, get me a load of Jaffa Cakes.
Right.
But I think it sort of puts a bit of a stop to it if you haven't got it. Do you know what I mean? It's like having vitamin tablets.
Is this medically proven? Should we get Dr. Fox down here to confirm that? I can't. I actually can't cope. You're just play a record. Play a record. Can I just, if anyone has ever survived cancer thanks to Jaffa Cakes, please call in.
No, but I didn't say
He
that.
said, and then he went, it's the orange thing in it. And then he tried to read it. He said, I wonder if it's, and he tried to read out this scientific name. I'm gonna play this. That's my favourite one I've ever done.
It's great, isn't it? Yeah,
really good. Yeah.
Because I always had a problem with Gomez before, because it always sounded like they were trying to sound like these world-weary Tom Waits style, gravelly voice.
And they were 20.
And they were like 14, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's great. That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Well done, boys.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Gervais gives it thumbs up.
Oh dear. Can I play an Elvis Costello track?
You know, I'd love to bloody hear some Elvis Costello. Why are we saying that?
Well, you know why? Because we met him and he's a lovely man.
We did meet him, yeah.
And
without wishing to show off.
I remembered all the great songs he's ever done. I didn't like his spoken word much too much, and some of his later projects I thought were a little bit, but his own songs from 1978 to about 1980 I thought were great.
Why did we meet him? I can't just remember why we met him, Rick.
Oh, I wasn't doing that.
No, I can't remember.
We won an award.
Was it because we won another bloody award? Stop giving us awards, please.
Oh God.
Not enough room in my house.
Oh dear, we've only got two.
Yeah,
and we haven't got one of those. The one was the BBC, so he's got a lot of room in his house. And I've got the other one. He let me have it, so he's got no award in his house at all.
Can I
You can borrow it.
Can I don't know who you're talking to. Someone. I spoke to Richard Wilson from One Foot in the Grave.
I spoke to him.
Yeah, but he's a lovely bloke. He's a really nice guy. But he said to me, could I do a cameo in the office for £40,000? And I went, could like Ricky do like an amusing pratfall or something, and then you just come in as a cleaner and go, I don't believe it. And he looks at me like, why have you said that? Why have you brought that up? I felt so guilty.
Oh no!
I so wanted to apologise.
But why is it so? We know it's wrong to do that.
I don't know why I said it.
We know. Do we think, no, it's different for me?
Exactly. We're in the business.
I'll do a new twist on I don't believe it, and he'll go, that's the best I don't believe it twist I've ever heard.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Why did you? You didn't tell me that.
I know, I felt ashamed. I felt really ashamed.
No.
I was a little bit drunk, I wasn't thinking straight.
Oh,
it was so embarrassing. I was talking to a friend of mine who said, who was it? I can't remember, he said that he was watching it was a sports cast, which it may have been, Formula 1 racing or something like that. And he was watching, and there's a commentator, and the commentator's gotta keep talking all the time. Yeah. And he was going, and there's the team there's, oh, good to see so-and-so's girlfriend, and he said he saw, and it cut to Richard Wilson in the audience, and he went, and the bloke went, and there's One Foot in the Grave. I love that. He knew he had to say it there, but he couldn't just name all the characters.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And there's One Foot in the Grave.
Oh, dear.
That'd be brilliant. And there's The Office. Brilliant.
What, you're putting us alongside One Foot in the Grave, thing that's been going like 10 years and one of those, you're putting us alongside, it beat us, Steve, get over it. It beat us in the Comedy Awards.
No, I was just saying that you're an identifiable face if you're at a Formula 1 event.
Okay.
Old. Grumpy.
One Foot in the Grave.
Yeah, One Foot in the Grave, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, Carl, any thoughts before we move on anything we've said so far?
Elvis Costello.
Well, I'd like to play, Red Shoes.
Are we ready for...
Not yet, I'm just saying.
What?
Do you know who his dad is?
Declan McManus. No,
I don't know his real name.
Declan McManus. He was a big band leader in the 50s or something, wasn't he?
No, he was in the White's Lemonade ad.
Yeah. Oh!
Was he?
Oh no, it's so much to do with that.
Good, so we're catering there to the audience listening who are 50 and above. Well, I don't, and I'm the target audience.
I'm a secret lemonade drinker. White's Lemonade. You must remember that.
Never heard that.
Oh, those chimps that drink tea. Oh! Once, right, in school, we had a French dictionary, and ice cold coke on the back of my throat. Singing hello summertime, it's the real thing. Remember that?
No!
Oh, you were there. We translated that into French.
Is that the end of that story?
Yeah!
That's the end of the story?
Yeah! But I know it in French.
Do it.
But it doesn't make sense. We just literally did the word.
Go on, let me hear it. I can't believe you remember this.
Tres fois, coke, solidaire, among gauche, chante, bonjour, estival, jump, celebrate.
That's the only French you know, isn't it?
It's not even French. We just did it word for word. It doesn't make any sense.
Can you say another word of French? Can you quote
Le plume
Shakespeare?
de ma tante.
Can you
That's my
quote
answer.
anything else? Is there anything else you can quote other than that? Is there anything else you learned at school that you can remember word for word?
No?
Nothing.
Le chat est sur le mur.
I don't just mean French, I mean anything. English, maybe a bit of poetry that you can remember?
Of course I can, yeah.
Go on, quote a bit of poetry for me.
Like what?
Whatever
Stop
you
what
remember.
light through on the window breaks. It is the east and Juliet is the sun. The rise for sun and kill the envious moon. It was really sick as well. Anyway. What do you
Doesn't
want?
really count.
What? Shakespeare doesn't count?
No, because that's the rate. Everyone knows that one.
Oh, going what then? What should I know?
The Windhover by Gerald Manley Hopkins. Oh, you can't do that one. I caught this morning's morning minion, Kingdom of Daylight, still thinking
Play
about
record.
Dawn Falcon and his riding of the high.
Hold on, no. We haven't done Carl yet.
Wait a minute, K-Man. Anything you can remember from school that you learned, that you had to maybe, memorise?
French.
Not necessarily French, you could
Anything you can remember. This can be anything you remember from school, apart from the orange stuff stops cancer.
Yeah.
It's not the cough that carries you off, it's the coughing that carry you off in.
Play it.